So let's talk about dogs in particular, and then we'll talk about cats. We'll focus on these two animals. So dogs are probably the most common type of pet. I think in most countries, people like dogs in general, and when people think of pets, they usually think of dogs first. I know in some countries this might not be the case, but I'm speaking in general. Here in the West, dogs are king. So dogs are very popular pets for a number of reasons. So let's talk about the pros and cons of owning a dog. So the best thing about having a dog is that it can be like a friend sometimes. Dogs are usually friendly. They like being around humans. As we say in English, dogs are man's best friend. So we have that deep in our culture that dogs are friendly and are good companions to humans. So if you come home from work, you open your door, your dog is always there, happy to see you. They're super excited that you're home. And this feels nice as the owner, right? To have that attention from your animal. So that's one big advantage. Another pro is that dogs are fun. You can actually play with them. There are many types of activities and games that you can play with dogs. And if you take them to the park or to a dog park, you can run around with them and play fetch. Fetch is the game where you throw the ball and the dog runs after it and brings it back to you. This is called fetch in English. So you can play fetch with them. You can do many things with dogs. They're really fun animals. And dogs often play with each other. So if you go to a dog park, the different dogs will play with one another. And one other advantage of choosing a dog as a pet is that there's a huge variety of dogs. So there's a different type of dog for different types of people. Some people like small, easy dogs that don't take up a lot of space and you can just put them in your backpack. They're super small. Some people prefer those types of dogs, and other people prefer big dogs that can guard your house and that are oftentimes smarter than small dogs. So there are many types of dogs, many breeds of dogs, as we say. A breed just means a type of dog. So there are different breeds of dogs. But some of the disadvantages of owning a dog include the barking. So barking refers to the sound that dogs make, right? When they're excited or angry or whatever, dogs bark a lot. Some dogs bark more than other dogs, but in general, if you're a dog owner, you have to deal with barking. It's just a fact of life. And it can disturb your neighbors and other people around you. If you have a sleeping baby, a barking dog is not good. So that's one con. Another con is that you have to pick up after your dog. We use the phrase pick up after your dog to talk about what happens when your dog goes to the bathroom. So you can't just leave the product there. You have to pick it up afterwards. So I think everyone hates doing this, but if you're a dog owner and you're responsible, you have to do this. You have to pick up after your dog, as we say. Now let's talk a little bit about cats. So the advantages of having cats are a little bit different. For example, cats are independent. So this could be an advantage because you don't need to always spend time with them. You don't need to dedicate as much effort or energy into your cat like you do when you have a dog. That's one advantage. Another advantage is that cats are low maintenance in general. This is similar to what I just said, but more than just being independent, they also don't require as much cleaning, as much training, and those types of things because they're different animals than dogs. They behave differently. They're not as dirty. They don't cause as many problems. They're low maintenance, as we say in English. When we say that something is low maintenance, we just mean that it doesn't require a lot of your effort, attention, money, energy, those things. So cats are low maintenance, and I think I also just mentioned they're clean compared to dogs. Dogs make huge messes, and you have to pick up after them. With cats, I think it's easier. I've never had a cat before, but cat owners tell me that cats are easier to clean, and you don't have to do as much cleaning with them in general. So some of the cons of having cats include the fact that they're not as friendly as dogs. So if you're interested in having a pet that is a companion to you and you can play with all the time and pet. We also use the word pet as a verb, and we use it when we're talking about rubbing an animal with your hand. So when you see a dog, you often pet that dog. You touch it with your hand and you run your hand along its fur. You are petting the dog. So dogs are fun to pet, but oftentimes cats don't want to be pet. So they're not quite as affectionate as dogs. When something is affectionate, that means that it wants to be close to you and show you love. So cats don't do this as much as dogs. So what are some of the other types of pets that people have besides cats and dogs? Some people have birds like parrots and parakeets and things like that. Other people have reptiles like snakes and turtles and iguanas. Some people have fish, right? Goldfish or fighting fish or many different kinds. And then there are also animals like rabbits or hamsters. So I think that these animals are less common, but still many people enjoy them as pets because they usually require less effort, they're more low maintenance, and it's less of a commitment. So let's stop there. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and hopefully this was good practice for your ears. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Listening Time Podcast.